Welcome back to Money Stories USA. Most of the time, we talk about how people make money. But today, we're doing the opposite. We're diving into the biggest money mistakes in American history. Some of these disasters wiped out entire companies. Some changed the way we live. And some are so unbelievable that you'll laugh and cry at the same time. From soda blunders to trillion-dollar wars, these are the top 10 most expensive mistakes in U.S. history. And stick around at the end. I'll ask you which one you think was the most painful. 10. New Coke disaster. 1985, $30 million lost. In 1985, Coca-Cola decided to change its recipe. Why? Because Pepsi's ads showed people preferred Pepsi in blind taste tests. So Coke panicked and launched New Coke. At first, curiosity was high, but then came the outrage. Fans were furious. Some people literally cried on live TV, saying Coke took away part of America. One man in Seattle bought 100 cases of the original Coke to stockpile in his garage. Others started black markets, selling the real Coke at crazy prices. After just 79 days, Coca-Cola surrendered and brought back the classic. The mistake cost $30 million, but ironically, sales later boomed because people loved classic Coke even more. Fun thought. Imagine if Coke had never brought the original back. Would Pepsi rule the world today? Blunders. 9. Enron collapse. 2001, $74 billion lost. Enron was once the poster child of Wall Street innovation. They claimed to reinvent the energy industry. The stock price soared. But behind the curtain, Enron was faking profits and hiding debt. When the truth came out, it collapsed overnight, erasing $74 billion in shareholder value. Thousands of employees lost jobs and their retirement savings. The scandal was so shocking, it created new laws to prevent future fraud. Side note, Enron's accounting firm Arthur Andersen was one of the biggest in the world, and the scandal killed it too. One company's lies destroyed two giants. 11. 8. AOL Time Warner merger, 2000, $200 billion lost. This was called the deal of the century. AOL, the internet king, merged with Time Warner, the media giant. Price tag, $182 billion. But soon after, the dot-com bubble popped. AOL's value crashed, and the marriage fell apart. By the end, $200 billion in value was gone. To picture that $200 billion could build 30 Disneylands around the world. Fun story. The CEOs shook hands on live TV, promising a digital revolution. Today, it's considered one of the worst mergers in business history. Students still read it as a cautionary tale. 7. Challenger disaster. 1986, $1.2 billion lost. The Challenger space shuttle launch was supposed to inspire a nation. Millions of Americans, including school kids, watched live because a teacher was on board. But just 73 seconds after liftoff, the shuttle exploded. The tragedy shocked the country. The investigation revealed NASA ignored engineers' warnings about a faulty O-ring. Beyond the lives lost, the disaster cost $1.2 billion and delayed the space program for years. Reflection. This mistake showed how pressure and deadlines can blind leaders to real risks, a lesson still relevant today. 6. Harmon Hotel, Las Vegas, 2009, $275 million wasted. Vegas is full of flashy hotels, but the Harmon is famous for being torn down before it even opened. Construction defects were so bad, engineers warned it might collapse in an earthquake. Instead of fixing it, developers said, forget it, tear it down. Cost $275 million. 0 guests. Fun angle. People in Vegas joke that the Harmon was the most expensive billboard ever because it stood there, half-built for years before demolition. Virgo 5. Lehman Brothers collapse, 2008, $600 billion lost. Lehman Brothers was a 158-year-old bank, but during the housing bubble, it bought risky mortgage assets. When the bubble burst, Lehman collapsed, filing the biggest bankruptcy in U.S. history. $600 billion in assets gone. The shockwaves triggered the Great Recession. Imagine $600 billion is enough to buy every NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL team combined 10 times over. 4. Deepwater Horizon oil spill, 2010, $65 billion. In 2010, BP's oil rig exploded in the Gulf of Mexico. 11 workers died, and oil spilled for 87 days, straight, creating a Black Ocean disaster. Fishing, tourism, wildlife, all devastated. BP had to pay over $65 billion. Human-side families along the Gulf Coast said their beaches smelled like gasoline for months. Entire small towns dependent on shrimping collapsed. Number 3, the dot-com bubble, 2000-2002, $5 trillion lost. The late 90s were crazy. If your company had com in its name, investors threw money at you. Pets, com spent millions on ads, including a talking sock puppet at the Super Bowl, and then went bankrupt within months. Between 2000 and 2002, $5 trillion in value disappeared. That's like erasing the entire economy of Japan at the time. Funny detail, even after bankruptcy, Pets, com's sock puppet had more fans than the company itself. Subprime mortgage crisis, 2008, $8 trillion lost. Banks handed out risky subprime loans to people who couldn't afford them, then sold them as safe investments. When the defaults came, the system collapsed. Americans lost $8 trillion in housing wealth. Whole neighborhoods turned into ghost towns of foreclosed homes. Fun but sad fact, in Cleveland, some houses sold for just $1 after the crash because nobody wanted them. 1. The Vietnam War, 1965-1975. Over $1 trillion in today's dollars. Wars are expensive, but the Vietnam War drained over $1 trillion in today's money. The U.S. economy struggled with inflation, debt, and unrest at home. To put it in perspective, $1 trillion could pay every American's college tuition twice. And there you have it, the top 10 most expensive mistakes in U.S. history. From soda blunders to financial collapses, these stories show how even powerful nations and corporations can mess up big time. Which mistake shocked you the most? Would you rather lose $30 million on soda or $200 billion on a failed merger? Hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more Money Stories USA.